Today is Thursday, the 12th of March, and we are reading from day 71 of the Book of Mysteries by Jonathan Cahn. Day 71, the Omega Joy. The greatest celebration, say the teacher, in the days of the Bible was Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles. During the festival, the people of Israel would go up to Jerusalem to give thanks to God for His blessings, for the fruit of their harvests, for the produce of their fields, for His provisions, His faithfulness, and for the gift of the promised land itself. And so the Feast of Tabernacles was filled with celebration, praises, thanksgiving, dancing, and joy. In fact, the very command that ordained the feast states, "You shall be altogether joyful." So great was this celebration that it was simply known as the festival. Tabernacles was the feast of joy. It came in the autumn. What part of the sacred year is autumn? The end, I said. Yes, and Tabernacles is the last feast of the sacred year. It's the greatest celebration and it comes at the end. What does that reveal? I had no answer. In the world, he said, the greatest things come at the beginning. Everything starts out young and then gets older and older. In the world, the celebration comes at the beginning. Then it fades away, ultimately ending in death. But the Feast of Tabernacles reveals that in the kingdom of God, it's the opposite. The greatest celebration comes at the end. So if you live in God's power, you don't move from life to death, but from death to life. Then we grow younger, I said. In the Spirit, he said, we are to grow younger. And what about joy? I asked. Wouldn't Tabernacles also reveal that the greatest joy comes at the end? Yes, said the teacher. The joys of the world come at the beginning. They're fleeting. They grow old and pass away. The joys of sin lead to sorrow. The laughter of youth leads to tears of mourning. But in God, the greatest joy comes at the end. In other words, the ways of God all lead in the end to joy. Even that which seems hard for the moment, the way of sacrifice, self-control, and righteousness. In the long run, it all leads to joy. God's calendar ends with the Feast of Tabernacles, and those who walk in His way end up altogether joyful. For the ways of God all lead to joy, and the best is saved for last. The mission. Today, look to the joy at the end of your path, and so live all the more confidently in what is good and right, to the Omega Joy. And we are reading from Leviticus 23, verses 33 through 44, the 16th Psalm, verse 11, and Isaiah 51, verse 11. May the grace and peace of God be with you.